Good evening, everyone. We're 20 Sides to Every Story. I'm Corey, the DM for Out of the Abyss. We are a fair bit of, maybe we're starting our 4th chapter of the book.
Whoa,
it has 18
jams,
chapters,
man.
but that's fine. Our characters are proceeding along, attempting to escape from being imprisoned by the Drow just about 35 days ago. They escaped. So they've been running across the
Whoa, thanks for the jams,
the
man.
Underdark. They've learned that perhaps some demon lords have escaped the Abyss and are wreaking havoc down here. And they're not really sure what to do about it, but their first priority is getting the heck out of here. So we will get to introductions in just a minute. Just want to say that we would love it if you follow our channel or join our Discord. By following the Twitch channel, you get up-to-date updates when we are live, which is most nights of the week, and then sometimes twice on the weekends. If you join our Discord channel, that is really active, pretty much all times a day. We focus on a lot of different types of games. D&D was probably first place, but anything from video, console games, all sorts we're talking about on there. It's a great active community, so I encourage you to join it. If you are want to support our channel, there's 2 ways to do that. One is by subscribing to the Twitch channel, and another is by joining our Patreon. Both those give some ways to join our community campaign games, which are pretty much offered once a week. Normally they're Fridays.
Whoa,
we have 2 games running right now. One's Tier 1, one's Tier 2. Tier 1 is The Lost City, and Tier 2 is we're on the tail end of Journey to the Barrier Peaks. Both are a lot of fun. They're drop in, drop out, so you can just stop in for one, or you can stop in for a bunch. But the details about how to sign up for them you can see on our Patreon page.
Thanks for the jams, man.
Last but not least, I want to say thank you to everyone who last week donated a boatload of money to Extra Life. The channel raised almost over $7,000 for the Children's Miracle Network, and it was an amazing show of support. The DMs did an awesome job on the channel. I think we had like 6 days of every basically a week every day except Thanksgiving of just awesome games. A lot of the community participating. It was just a lot of great fun. So we look forward to doing it again next year, and thanks to everyone who supported us. So we will go around. I'm going to switch the screen. We will go around, and if you guys want to introduce your characters a little bit, and then this is the first time the characters will have. They've just basically traversed a massive underground lake called the Dark Lake, and they are just on the periphery of a major city, Gracklstugh, which is the center of Dwergar civilization in the Underdark. So they will get there today, unless they turn around. I don't know why they do that, but it's the first time they've had a real opportunity to buy anything or to barter. So I'd be curious what item or items your characters are most interested in picking up. So we'll start with Dulfix.
Hi everyone, I'm Ethan. I play Dulfix. It's a gnome eldritch knight. I think, Dulfix would like some better armor. That's one thing for sure. The Underdark has proven quite treacherous. And the other thing he'd be looking to buy is probably some incense and other magical components, spell components. He's starting to decipher the spell book he has in his possession, and from what he can gather, one of these spells requires some incense. So he's going to be on the lookout for that.
Okay. Next up is Drazzle.
So hi, I'm Scott. I'm a lizard folk cleric of the light named Drazzle. And Drazzle's been underground for a long time for a cleric of the light, and he's really interested in trying to adjust to get himself the belief that he's getting more sun. So he wants to have a way to fix a light spell onto a thing on top of his fancy hat instead of having to always put it on his bowl and hold it there. But also get a reflective metal shield that he can hold in front of him to reflect the light back on him. So he feels like it's the sunlight hitting the water and coming back into it. He's hoping that makes him feel a little bit more comfortable.
All right. Next up is Jasa.
Hi, I'm Ed. I'm playing Jasa. Jasa is a halfling rogue. And she's very excited to see about getting this drow studded leather armor we've recovered resized to fit her small form.
Okay. Zone.
I'm Yusuf, and I'm playing Zalm, and I actually don't know what Zalm would even want to buy. Other than a hot meal, it's definitely like his first buy. But as far as like items are concerned, he doesn't really know.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Nick.
I would like 5 rerolls. Oh, look at that! It came true. Thanks, Dave. But then you did that nasty thing and you bought 2 for Corey. Come on now.
I'm sure he's buying 5 for me too.
Yeah, it looks like you might just be fighting against the refresh there. I'm playing Vic Valentine, half elf bard. And as we're coming into Gracklstugh, Vic is. It might seem like a strange thing after digging around in the earth and everything like this, but he's going to be looking for if he can pick up maybe some soil, maybe a little pot, maybe a little fertilizer. You know, he's realizing his time with his spore friend is coming to an end, and so he's not really sure like the protocol, but at some point he would like to maybe ask. You know, maybe he could get a little grow a stool kit or something from the Myconoids once we get to that point when we have to say goodbye.
All right. And that's it. So, as I said, the characters are they're joined by a couple of other characters who were in prison with them. And so amongst them, they have Stool, who is a Myconoid sprout, who has been traveling with them a lot, like a small child, in fact. You have Sareth, who is a drow himself, who was put in jail for trying to murdering another drow, an act which he has no memory of. You have Eldeth, who is a dwarf from Gauntlgrim. She's trying to get home, back to Gauntlgrim. And then I think that's it. Hemeth, though, is someone they met in Slubidope, which is the last village they were in. It's Koatoa village. And Hemeth is Wergar himself. And Hemeth is also a fisherman, so he's been navigating back across the lake to Gracklstugh. And so that's pretty much where we pick up. Is you guys, as Hemeth starts pushing the boat, and the other boat, follow-on boat, follows. What are you doing, Soph? Get up there. He is. You look ahead of you, and you can see the dull red glow of the city before you, and you can feel the heat coming off the giant furnaces. I'm going to move you over to this map since there's nothing really special about it, and then I'll give you some information. Hemeth, you can tell as you go, as you are traveling through, Hemeth is actively avoiding other boats, and he can you guys see that?
No,
You can't
see all black.
Waiting for it to change.
Oh, maybe if I do
Still
this.
black.
How about now?
There it is.
Okay. There we go.
And I'm going to use this up here for your party marker. Just, I had nothing looked around for something special. I'll find something for next week. He's actively avoiding other boats, and it's pretty busy. And you can hear the din of a city. Like you hear steel on steel. This is known as the City of Blades because it basically is working pretty 24 hours a day, creating high quality armor, high quality weapons, anything steel, and from the metals. One second. Computer's a little. You see firelight illuminating massive columns in the middle of the city, and so you can see the dull glow of orange and red near the base, but then you see these pillars, huge, which you guess are actually sort of a column, a stalactite and stalagmite where they meet. But they are illuminated, and you can see structures around their base. As Hemeth starts to sort of navigate, again trying to avoid all these boats, you can see a variety of piers at the edge of the city, most likely made from Zirkwood. You see some stone and plain rock jutting out at the edge of a huge cavern. Hemeth turns to you and he says, I'm gonna let you guys off on the eastern side of the docks. They're not used so much. I really you can get in a lot of trouble here. You're not Dwergar, and anyone who sees the opportunity will try to make you slaves. So I'd strongly advise that you keep your head down, and maybe you immediately. He thinks about it and he says, "You probably immediately want to get to the inn." And he tells you guys about, and you've heard about this over the course of your 30 days or so with him, or maybe a little less. But he tells you to head to the Gold Bronze Lair. Do any of you speak Dwarvish?
Nope.
So Eldith tells you. I mean,
I do.
It means boulette.
Sulfix does as well.
Okay, it means boulette in Dwarvish. It's not a super common word, but it's definitely known. And he says, just head your way to the Blade Bazaar. It's at the northern end of the Dark Lake district. It's you're going to go down into the ground from there, and that's the only place you can stay. When you wander out of it, you just got to be really careful about what sort of trouble you get into. And so he is going to actually drop you off, let's say about here. It's not too far from you.
I have a question.
As the two boats sort of pull up, he finds a pier that is pretty empty. And he says, "I'm going to make my way home, but I'll come check on you at the inn tomorrow night. I owe you, and so and I'll bring you something to thank you, but I don't have anything on me."
I have a
Well.
question before you go. Are there slavers who are not like you? Maybe like us?
There's all sorts down here, and even now, as you look, Drazzle, you can see, you don't see any lizardmen, I don't think, but you see some drow walking around. You see all sorts of races walking around this area. It's pretty busy, especially in this area near the Blade Bazaar. You see all these sort of makeshift little stalls set up somewhat haphazardly across the place. And you can see people going through and bargaining with the people there. They're not all dwarves, so you do see some other Underdark races.
Do you think when you say you caution us, is it because we look like topsiders, or is everyone kind of at risk of getting picked up by slavers?
He says, yeah. The minute you, he basically says the two penalties for committing crime here are immediate execution or slavery. So anyone who wants to accuse you of things, you might be put in a precarious position. Don't cause too many waves.
This is pretty much home. I think I like it here.
Maybe we pretend we slave. I slave.
Are we sure this is
Maybe we just keep our heads
positive?
down and try not to pretend anything.
Are we sure this is the positive alternative to just getting captured by the drow?
Oh, anything's better than that.
Currently, we're not captured by anyone, so I would call that a positive.
Exactly. Look, just keep your head down. Go from point A to point B. Don't look at anybody. Keep to yourself and stick together. Best advice I could give you for a city like this.
That's worked for us up till now. I agree. Let's stick together. Let's hustle. I'm looking forward to this. Let's get to this inn.
Have we got any coin at all?
I don't have. We have to sell our stuff. I have to. As soon as I sell my weapons, then yes.
So
we'll
we
have
may
some
need
coin.
to travel to the bazaar before the inn to gain some coin, so we can pay for our lodging.
There was no coin on the Drow Princess.
Sorry?
There was no coin on the Drow Princess we took out.
Hemeth tells you that you in terms of like typically you would pay on departure, specifically because, and he reminds you that all Dwergar have the ability to turn invisible, and you trying to skip town without paying the bill would be a very dangerous endeavor. So there really is very little crime because it's so severely dealt with, and there's so many like invisible people just hanging around at all times.
Hey, Hemeth, this inn, this tavern that you mentioned, entertainment for coin. Is that a thing that's common down here? You know, where I'm from, sometimes you entertain the guests. You get a crowd coming in. Sometimes the barkeep, tavern owner, might give you a little something or give you a complimentary room. Is that a custom that would work here?
He sort of thinks. He says, "Well, if it works topside, there's a good chance it's going to work in that inn because most of the people there are not from here. So, but in your average Dwergar bar, nah, it's just drinking."
I just imagine somebody trying to rob like a bank here. They injure one of the guards. It's like, oh, somebody call an ambulance, but not for me. And all these dark guards just appear out of nowhere, surround them. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Yep,
it's all these invisible people.
Hemeth has really like hammered that into your head over the last 2 weeks, 10 days.
There's spies everywhere.
That you can really, while you're in the city proper, you cannot be sure that you aren't being watched. Unless you have the ability to see invisible, you really have to be careful about what you're going to do.
I need a little bit of refresher, I think. Was our reason for coming here, was it that we were hoping to just dodge the drought, or did we believe that this would be the place where we could connect with someone to bring us back home?
Perfect. So two reasons. One, when you left the drow outpost, the group of you realized that if you split up, you would cause more problems for the drow. So the two groups left the outpost, and they promised to meet here on the 40th day. And for the audience, it's the 35th day that they came into this. So that's the first one. The reason here is, first, it's the biggest and closest city that might have any leads on how to get back to the service. You still don't have a definitive way, but since this is a town that deals in trading, it must have some leads to get you in the direction you want to go.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. That rendezvous point, that was the part I was missing.
I'm breaking up a little bit, but the other thing I would say is, for the audience, is that in the other group, when they left, there was a cast of characters, and so there were a pair of
Turf Niblin.
Yep, that's the word I was looking for. Twins who went by Topsy and Turvy. There was a Kragoth that who is a reincarnated sun elf. I can look this up in a minute. Named Prince Darendil, who speaks in a dialect that very few of you have heard before. There is another deep. Sorry, I'm just bringing this up. I'm trying to do this from memory, and it's not going to go well.
Bupido is a Darrow.
Yeah, Bupido is the most insane kind of guy who seems to repeat his name a lot. And those of you who sometimes heard his thoughts when he was on group chat, and they were just very, very strange. And then last but not least is Jim Jar, who was another Deep Gnome, I believe. And Jim Jar had a very unusual life perspective, I'd say. So we will see if any of those pop up. I know you don't know when, the characters don't know when, if they've already arrived in the city, if they will arrive in the city, what's up. So yeah, Hemeth finishes tying off the boat, and he says, tomorrow night I'll meet you down there. Stay out of trouble. And he reminds you that he's like, it's not impossible for the drow to get here. So just realize that in addition to all this, the other group pursuing you might actually cause you trouble. And you see him start to walk away.
Well, if we don't need to pay for lodging when we get to the inn, we may want to go there first and get our feet under us.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's try and find the bazaar. Yeah.
So it's pretty obvious, right? And so the just so you know, the scale on this map is correct if you use the features. So it's not too far off, but you certainly can see in the distance what looks like a market. And Hammett would have definitely pointed to it before the general direction. And so as you walk through, you see there's just little stands everywhere. And pretty much you see everything being sold. Armor, weapons, you see like adventuring equipment, you see clothes, you see knickknacks, just everything. There's a place for in this bazaar, and it's pretty loud. It's in the terms of time of the day, it is probably early evening, and here in the bazaar, it's actually quite busy. It's not packed, but you do see various groups walking around and making deals with the Duergar.
All right, walk like you belong.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, gonna keep going to the lair?
Yeah, I'm looking for probably like a smithy type shop because I'm selling mostly weapons, I think. So
Yeah, easy enough to find and easy enough to like have your choice of places, and so no problem at all. Like you passed a couple on the way there.
mm.
Are you gonna try to sell now, or are you gonna?
I think we should sell now. Is that fine with everybody? Just sell some stuff now.
It's on the way.
I got some.
It might be a good idea. You know, if we were back home, I have no problem getting a crowd, getting some money, but I have a really avant-garde style that I don't know if it's going to play so well down here. So if we get some coin, that might be kind of nice, you know, insurance policy.
Yeah, I wouldn't try it until maybe we get to the end. Then maybe perhaps you can play a song. If
feel it out. See if right. I think you'll like it.
Dolphix, have you mentioned that you're looking for incense?
I probably, yes.
Because I have some
Oh.
that we took from the Drow's chest at the very beginning, and I would happily give it to you.
Yes, I would greatly appreciate that.
Corey might need to tell us how much is actually there.
Good.
I have some unusually scented incense that was in that first chest.
Roll me a d20. It'll be that much gold of incense. 13 gold worth of incense. So it's quite a bit.
Oh,
Well,
well,
that should get you started.
thank you very much.
Okay, so who is trying to, Zaum, you're trying to sell some weapons? So you see
Yes.
there's a dwarf or a Duergar sort of standing, looking at his wares. He has his back turned to, and you can hear him sort of talking to himself as he's the closest to you.
I take out 3 spears, kind of place them on the table rather noisily. I say, "How much for 3 spears?"
He said, "Oh, you're selling. Let me see." And he picks up one of the spears. Are these spears you got from?
These are from the Knolls, I think.
Yeah, for Knowles.
Okay. So he looks at them and he's like, this isn't Duergar quality. There's some useful bits here, but I have to take it apart." And he turns over to his side. He's like, "What do you think?" And he shows one of the spears to Air. And you hear, yeah, you're probably right. And let me just look. What's the price of the spear?
Can I hear any of that? Anything said by the air?
You cannot hear anything said by there. There's a loud din in the air, so you're not sure if. Yeah. Sorry.
Here is 1 gold piece.
A spear is 1 gold piece. Okay, he says. Then he's like, for the 3 of them, I'll give you 2 gold.
I will also I'll accept that. I'll say, all right, and I'll also be like, what about these? Yeah, also bring out my back 2 javelins.
Okay.
Because 3 of them is mine and 2 of them we got on the way somehow.
Okay. He looks at them and he. Sorry. Do you still have it up, Ethan? I don't have it.
I still have it up. Javelin's 5 silver pieces.
Okay. And he looks at them and he's like, He's like, these. Yeah. I'll give you 5 silver for these 2.
How about we just make 3 gold for the lot?
He's like that. Not for this crap.
You might try another vendor. There may be someone who's not so proud of their workmanship here. Someone who's not a Duergar.
I give kind of like a snarl to the person in front of me, and I take my lot and I start to head away.
Okay. Did you sell the spears?
No. I take everything. I don't give him the spears. I just take everything. I give him like a snarl and I take everything.
Okay. He turns his head and says something to the space next to him.
As we're there, I want to look over what he's selling.
Okay.
Just to get an idea of.
Yeah. He in general, like you, certainly Eldeth would. And I think those of you who have any experience with weapons are pretty impressed. Like it is unadorned good workmanship.
Mm-hmm.
So it does not have the normal like furls and etchings that a dwarf weapon would have on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the stuff he has is incredibly sturdy weapons. Probably some of the best you've seen in general.
Any chance that I catch, assuming he's speaking in Dwarvish, catch what he's kind of mutters?
Through the space next to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to make a perception check real quick. So what you hear him say, and it's definitely being like he's definitely not talking, like he's trying to hide his voice from you. You do understand Dwarvish?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear him say like fucking topsiders.
Okay.
Wouldn't know quality if they hit it. I know.
It seems like he's talking to like invisible something nearby. Okay, cool.
All right. Are you going to search for a new individual, or what do you guys do?
Yeah, I'll search for another individual.
Let's watch for someone other than Duergar selling equipment.
So that is one thing. You do not see any shopkeepers who aren't Duergar. Like, okay. So perhaps people are selling, but in terms of stalls, only Duergar. As you walk around,
mm-hmm.
And you suspect that there might not be. I don't think Hemeth would have really thought about this either. It's not. There might be people selling, but they don't have a stall. If that makes sense. So if you want to look for someone who's selling specifically weapons who's not Duergar, make me an investigation check, Zone.
Let's see. Investigation. Probably not my best, but investigation. No, it's just gonna be a flat roll. All right.
So you wander around, and you just don't like. It seems like the only people who are not Duergar around you are buying, not selling. You see a couple drow. You see maybe an orc or two. It's just an unusual group of traders and
Perhaps we can find someone near the inn. It seemed to suggest that it was a place for people like us.
I don't think we're gonna.
Go ahead.
What? Oh, I was just saying. I don't think the way it's looking. I don't think there's anybody here that sells things other than Duragar. We might just be fine with finding another vendor and just taking the 2 gold and 5 silver. I'll probably get. See how far that gets me. I actually do have. I think it says in my pouch now. I'm looking at. I do have 10 gold. I believe. Looking at my pouch.
So I would also point, like, you guys, I'm not playing this hard and fast, but that actually wasn't a bad price on the surface for that stuff. Like, if you take half of it, right? If it's 50%. Like,
I wasn't sure whether they were trying to screw me or not. Maybe I should have rolled for that. But yeah.
Hey, Zom, we take 2 gold and some change.
But
we could stretch that budget. We just need to have enough money to make it look like we belong there, and then start picking some pockets. Maybe, I don't know. Just spitballing. That's a good chunk of change.
From Hemeth's description, I don't think picking pockets is wise.
Yeah. I don't think that's wise at all. Remember, they have invisible spies.
Can all of you just roll me a 1d100, all of you?
1d100. Oh, I hope nobody tries to do anything. How do I do that, actually? How do I do that in D&D Beyond?
The easiest is in Roll20, actually. On the left side, you go to the dice thing and then grab D100. Yeah.
59.
I am missing just...
Tried to roll it in the other, and I was surprised it didn't work.
It won't. Yeah, it won't. It won't pull over rolls of just random dice from Beyond.
I might ask you to do this a couple times as you move around. But yeah, so Zom, you see another stall easily that you could try to grab the same price from.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and do that. And I'll just sell it over there.
Yeah, so you go to another stall and the guy's like, what are you selling?
3 spears, 2 javelins. Plus
These are Nolish. And he offers the same price. So 2 gold, 5 silver for the group of 5 of them.
All right, I'll accept.
Okay. So as he takes them over and he sort of turns around, and you do see him start picking off the metal parts of it almost immediately, and he's stripping it down and throwing the zirkwood into a pile, and then the metal parts he's throwing into a bucket. And he's making pretty fast work of it. But you get your 2 gold and 5 silver.
On our way to the inn, if we see anyone dealing in gemstones, I would like to stop.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you are meandering. Like, there's no path straight through this market, so you would be meandering, sort of trying to figure out, wandering around, trying to actually find the inn itself. But no problem. You see a couple, nothing like super precious, but you do see like the common gems.
Sure. And I don't have anything super precious, but we do have a few gemstones I'd like to try to sell.
Okay.
There's 2 bloodstones and a tourmaline.
Okay. Did I tell you where to?
From the Hook Horrors.
Hook Horrors.
Give me 1 second. Horror Hunt. All right. So, what? 2 bloodstones and a tourmaline?
Yep.
Okay. So one of the it's a female Dwergar, and she's like heavily scarred in the face. Looks like a pox at some point sort of affected her, and she looks them over. And she says, "These are, we don't get stuff this quality normally coming from you guys. I'll give you 200 gold for all three."
Oh, that seems fair. Does that seem fair? Can I roll insight?
Yeah. I really wish there was an appraisal.
Yeah.
I just want to get a feel for her reaction because I wouldn't know the stones.
Yeah, she seems like, and this was the same with the interactions that Zelm had. Very matter of fact. Like,
Well, and that was kind of Hemeth's description too, was that Durgar are pretty straightforward.
Right.
Mhm.
And yeah, like you get the feeling that there's enough competition that prices they're probably not intentionally set, but they probably are pretty fixed.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll take that.
Okay. So 200 gold.
Yep.
Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're out here?
Mm.
I'll say as you guys walk through, and let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And specific about the market that you might want to know. District.
And I'll tuck that into a bag inside my tunic, like like bury it in.
Sorry, just looking for.
We can split that up when we get to the room.
Yeah, not too much. You do get the feeling that you really could buy most anything mundane here that you guys need. The one thing you do all notice though is already you guys are starting to sort of wheeze. Like the soot in the air it's pretty bad, and it's hard to ignore. And so it really is irritating your throats.
I'd like to just look for anybody selling cloth.
Yeah, you could find that.
And just buy a little bit of cloth to make a quick face wrap.
Sure. Are you buying for everyone or?
Anyone who wants one.
Yeah.
I'll take one.
Okay.
Why not?
So yeah, you find something that sort of you can wrap around. Let's say for the entire group of you, 5 silver for everyone.
Okay.
And it's not perfect, but it does a little bit. You're probably going to have to clean it out in the evenings, and just to try to keep it solid. So.
Okay.
Anything else, or are you guys heading to the inn?
Go to the inn.
What? So you see, sort of on the eastern side of the Blade Bazaar, you see sort of 2 tunnels that tunnel into the earth. And as you look down, you see a small sign at the top of the tunnel that says Goldborn Laird. And as you head down into it, you come into a large chamber, and there's tables spread out, huge tables. And clearly it's a dining room. You see off to one side, you see a small bar, and behind the bar, you see it opens into a kitchen area. You can feel the heat and the smells coming out of that area. Then also around, sort of radiating out, you just see hallways going in quite a few directions. It's all carved out like it's some animal's lair. There's a few. You see some Durgar. You see some Deep Gnomes. sitting at tables. And behind the bar, you see a sort of completely bald Dwergar standing there, and he's sitting there like polishing the top of the bar, pretty vigorously. And he looks at you and he's like, you just got to town, I see.
Yes, fresh off the trail.
And how many of you are there? Let's see. And he looks and he counts. I think there are 8 of you now.
Yeah.
You,
I
Sarah.
think so.
Yeah. So there's 8 of you. He's like, all right. I got 2 rooms you guys can take. Are you just here for the night?
Probably a few nights.
All right. Fair enough. And he points down one of the halls, and he's like, the last 2 rooms down there, they're all yours, just for the group of you. It'll be 1 gold per night, and just make sure you pay before you leave.
Understood.
Understood.
And you head back to the rooms. They're sparse but adequate. And yeah.
Right. Well, let's divvy up this coin.
Let me see. There's 8 of us. It's 1 gold per night, right?
1 gold.
1 gold in both rooms.
In total, not 1 gold per person per night.
Correct.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
I was like, whoa. I was like, oh, it's gonna be hard.
No, he has infinite demand. So
I can just give up a gold for tonight. I'll just pay for everyone tonight. I feel like doing that.
Don't worry, I'll keep a tab at the end rather than taking one off.
Oh.
Every night.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I said that is, just pay it after. So it's day 35. That's easy enough for me to figure out when you guys leave.
All right.
We're coming in here as is this like an evening situation, or we'd like arrive in the morning?
It's early evening.
Early evening. Okay.
Is there a shower or bed like toilet facility that we can see?
So you see near the end of the hall, like the sort of you go down the hall and your 2 rooms are on the very end of it. And as you walk down that little tunnel, you saw a room with a lot of metal bins that are clearly like baths. And you can probably ask for some order from the kitchen.
I decide I'm going to take a bath and I guess some water, and then I try to find a way to use my burning hand spell to heat the water so it's warm in the tub.
Okay. Okay. I'll get back to you on that.
See, now I understand. I understand this obsession with soup. He wanted it to be the ingredient in the soup.
This is like taking a flamethrower to your bathtub. To slice you with this.
Do you have thaumaturgy? I think that seems like something thaumaturgy could do.
Well, it ignites flammable objects. So I think if there's a place where I can heat the water, I can.
The water. I mean, you can get boiling water from the kitchen. It's not terribly hard. Takes a couple trips, but it's not that far. It's only like 20 feet, 30 feet. It is really smoky down here. As you walk to the kitchen, Drazzle, you see that in the middle of the room is their stove, and a chimney sort of goes up in the air and taking all the smoke from cooking straight up probably into the bazaar right in the middle of it. So, so Drazzle is making Drazzle soup. What are the rest of you doing?
What do you suppose is the most amicable way to divide up this coin? Some of us took items that have some value. We have coin.
Yes, I probably took one of the most valuable items. I have one of the only magic items among the group, so I would be willing to do some pay.
Hey, I ain't greedy. I just give me enough coin, get a couple of drinks here tonight, call it a day. I just want to enjoy some comfort tonight, if possible.
Well, why don't I give everyone, including Eldeth, and Sereth, 10 gold?
Stool
we'll
doesn't
start
need
there.
anything.
I figured
Yeah,
Stool
do
wouldn't
that.
be included in that, but the 5 of us and Eldeth and Sereth, I'll
Stool
give
does.
each 10 gold.
Okay.
So,
okay. Are any of you up to anything specific, or are you taking a long rest? Or you?
I'll just be taking a long rest for now. I would get something to eat, but
yeah, I imagine I'll do a long rest, but as part of that, I'm going to have a drink and a meal.
Okay. So you guys are basically hanging out in the lair.
Yeah, for
Right.
8 hours.
Okay.
And
So maybe about 20 minutes or so after you get there, Sareth is and you had maybe 20 minutes after you give the gold. Sareth is sort of sitting there, and you can tell he's really, really antsy. And he sort of says, I think I really need to go take a walk.
everything okay, Sereth?
He's like, I just have being in this confined space, the smoke. I'm just gonna walk around the market.
Well, of all of us, you're the one who's probably safest.
He's like, don't worry about me. I'll be back. I just want to get the lay of the land. And he starts to walk out.
Is he playing with his growth? He had like a growth on his head.
Yep. Now that you look at it, he's not playing with it, but like he's not itching, but he's feeling it.
Do I notice it? Like, does it look any worse than maybe the last time I assessed it or looked at it?
No, but I think you would definitely know that it's not getting better. Maybe it's not getting worse, but it's definitely not getting better. Did I say that right? I think you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dolphix, are you up to anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm going to read my spell book.
Okay.
If time is permitting, I'm going to burn some incense.
it burns some.
Incense and cast my third spell.
Okay.
Which is,
And do you want to describe the effects of that?
yeah, I guess I'm gonna find like the spell calls for a brass brazier, but it doesn't have a cost for that, so I might just borrow like a bowl or something from the kitchen.
Sure.
And then go to a corner of the room.
The Drazzle's soup bowl is just laying there tempting me.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Drazzle's soup bowl, put the incense in there, and then I think I'll use my little prestidigitation.
Or add that.
Nothing significant.
It's very significant. I need, yes, I need something very significant for the spell. So thank you.
The value you place on that bowl makes it valuable enough to work for the spell.
Nicely. So I'm gonna put the incense in the bowl and then light the incense with prestidigitation. I'm flipping through the spell book, which is it's very like worn, and the page edges are frayed and burnt. It's just covered in soot, basically. A lot of battle damage on the spell book. I flip through the page and I start muttering the words to the spell to cast Find Familiar.
Yep. And so those of you who are around see this happen and see him started to do this. What familiar do you summon?
I don't know. Seeing
Spider with
seeing
a glove.
as this is not Dolphix's spell book,
Okay.
or rather, this is Dolphix's spell book. So he's not sure what's going to be coming out of this.
Okay. So let's see. Knowing your background, I think what you see is suddenly crawling out of the bowl, like where there was nothing in the bowl except the incense. Like it seemed to, the smoke from the incense gets a little bit thicker. And you see a small, how do I want to do this? You see a small, yeah, you see a small, very colorful parakeet sort of pop out. And so Drazzle's bowl is very drab, although it does have the light spell on it, so it's like shining. And the smoke is very brown. And you just see this burst of color as this little tiny parakeet, bright green, a little bit of blue around its wings, emerges and looks around, sees you, and alights on your shoulder.
Sure. Well, why, hello there.
Lets out a little happy chirp.
You got a name? Name of the fellow?
He chirps twice, and it has a very melodic sound to it. And it's let's see, what would that good bird chirp name be?
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Bird chirp name would be the closest you get to it is something like somewhere between the name Chip and the name Kip. Like somewhere in, like, without a beak, you're having trouble getting it precisely, but it's Chip or Kip, like a letter that you don't know quite in between the two of them.
Fair enough. Well, I was hoping if you could help me out, little fella. And I kind of take the parakeet, set it on like the bed frame or something.
Okay.
I open up the spell book and I flip to the first page.
Okay.
And I point to the name on the first page, and it says Dolphix Zeros on it.
Okay.
So, could you tell me anything you know about your master? This one right here, Dolphix. Who was he? Who was he working for?
You see, you hear a chirp, 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 chirp. Like, it's your best sense of it through the connection is it's pondering. It's not answering. And then it's silent, and you see it sort of look down, and you hear a very sad, sure. And you get this feeling it just realized that person might not be here.
Ah, yes. I'm sure you figured it out, but I'm sorry, little fella, but your master is deceased. But I'm hoping to gain some more information about him, mainly what his occupation was and who he was working for. Perhaps you could help me. This would be very important, and I'm sure your previous master would be quite appreciative if you helped me out.
You hear sort of a happy chirp, like a willing to do anything chirp. And you see he flutters back up to your neck, and he starts to sort of jump on the top of your head, and you feel Dolphix has hair, right?
Yes.
So you feel a slight prick, and you feel and you see it fly down, and there is a small pouch nearby, and you see it. You see Chip start to find things around the room, and it seems to be nesting in the small pouch that you have sort of just on the bed. So you see him go over, and he finds a piece of the spell book that's actually like completely burnt and tattered and about to fall off. He takes that. You see him take a feather from the pillow, and he is sort of busy at work for what he needs to do. And you get the feeling that he's willing to help you. He just doesn't know how yet.
Okay.
But he'll make himself comfortable in the meantime.
I think that's what I think I'm just gonna be watching Chip do its thing.
What are the others of you doing? Drazzle, your bath seems to be going okay, although it's you might have singed off some of your scales.
That was the point. I was trying to finish the molting process that I've been going through without getting good sunlight.
There's now a molted Drazzle in the bathtub. Jasa or Vic?
Well, I got 10 gold here in my pocket. It's burning a hole. Jason, what do you say we go and maybe have a flagon together?
I'd be happy to. I'm not keen to leave the tavern without everyone.
What about you, Zom?
What?
Well, let's go have a drink. There might be useful information there, you know. But if you don't want to, the social company isn't enough, you know. Maybe we learn something. Maybe we find a lead on how to get out of here once the others arrive.
Or maybe we just relax a bit.
Well, I'm good with that, but
I could use some relaxing, I guess. And he gets up and heads with you guys.
all right. First one's on me.
All right. So you go out into the common room. Right. So there is a famous beer here that you guys have heard about while you're on the trip, and it's what's it called? It's from Dark Lake Brewery. Second.
Well, I'd best get a beverage while we look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have big flagons. They are still dwarves. And you definitely would know just from conversations with Kenneth that there's not much water here. Like the Dark Lake is no one will drink from the Dark Lake. It is poisonous. And so any of the water running into Gracklstugh comes from like really over harvested streams and aquifers. And so the main thing people drink is the beer from this tavern.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find the name of it for you. Dark Lake Stout. That comes from the brewery. So, Vic, I think the first thing you notice is there seems to be a makeshift stage No one's on it, but there seems to be a makeshift stage over in the corner.
Is there? What does it look like in here in terms of client patrons? Is it busy? Is
Right now, no. It's probably like maybe coming and going. There's probably like 6 or 7 people at any one time, other than you guys, and other than the staff.
I'll after I've got my beverage, I'll not necessarily looking to play like a full set or anything, but it's been a long time, and so there's probably a sense of longing seeing that stage. I'll jump up there and pull my my loot out, and I'll start kind of improving a song in Dwarvish about a silver boulette. And yeah, kind of like an epic poem of these Durgar hunting this silver boulette through these halls of the tunnels of the Underdark.
All right, make me a performance check. Or if you have an instrument, you can make that check, but I assume it's roughly the same.
Probably this, yeah, 17.
So it's interesting because this sort of melodic sound is the only sound like this, right? And everything you hear outside is just the clang of metal on metal, or people arguing, or people bargaining, right? And so this has a much softer feel to it as you start to compose your song. And almost immediately you see most of the patrons in the bar sort of look up, and they stop their conversations and they start listening to you. And in fact, you see 2 or 3 individuals poke their head down the tunnel to look at, sort of perplexed, and then see you playing. And you see the 3 of them at different times during your song sort of walk over into the common room from outside the inn completely, and get a flagon of beer and sit down and listen.
And once I conclude that, I'll kind of get sort of faux, like bashful, like, that's just a little something I've been kicking around. Thanks for listening. You're too kind, too kind. And
you get from some of the Deep Gnomes, you get a polite clap.
And then I'll grab my probably half drunk Dark Stout at this point and kind of go and mingle with them a little bit and be, hey, thanks. Yeah, that was very kind. Thanks for listening. And what brings you in here tonight? Just in here for a stout, or
you're talking about the new people or the people who are already there?
Yeah, did you say there was a couple of like Deep Gnomes that popped in?
So you see some
I'll go
Deep
talk
Gnomes,
to them.
you see some Daragar, and yeah, I'll say that. There's no Darrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to the Deep Gnomes.
Okay. And they're a little sort of taken aback when you sort of head over to them, but they say your song was very good. It really had some beautiful structure to it.
I appreciate that. I understand this place is named after a boulette. Is that right?
I believe so. I don't really know Dwarvish too well, but I believe that's what that means.
So is this a common stop for you, or?
I come through here, maybe once or twice a year. Just trying to bring down some gems, and it's a good place to sell them.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously, not from around here. We just stopping off here. Just trying to get kind of the lay of the land, since we're new in town. But you sell your gems exclusively here in Gracklstugh, or you ever head had where I come from, man, I've seen some of the stuff. We were walking through the bazaar earlier. Some of the stuff that gets made down here, some of the gemstones that y'all sell, it would fetch a pretty penny back where I'm from, up top. You ever sell your wares any place on the Sword Coast?
And he's like, no, I leave going up top to the adventurers. I'm just an honest merchant.
Wow.
Traveling from Blingdenstone here is about the best I can do.
Well, maybe we need to talk a little bit more. I could make that happen. We could go into business. We'd make a lot of money together, you and I.
You sing pretty songs, but I don't know anything else about you. Seems very illogical.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, it was nice talking to you. And he sort of he's still in the conversation with his friends, but he sort of turns.
Okay. Yeah, I'll mosey on back to my friends over here.
Okay. Yeah. So the three patrons who sort of wandered in after they finished their beers, they wander out, and then it's pretty quiet otherwise here. Is there anything specific you guys want to talk about? Is there things you trying to do?
I'm just sitting at the bar, have like a flagon, not just looking around, just enjoying the time, enjoying this makeshift bullet song. And it's just making sure that my companions aren't getting pickpocketed or whatnot.
So you do, now that you've been here a little bit, you do have this weird feeling of you don't know if someone's right next to you, right? It's
right.
just
every once in a while I'll punch the air next to me just to make sure.
Yeah, it's this weird, no one, you don't see anyone go invisible in front of you, right? But you're very aware that this happens, that people are invisible around you, and so it's just a unsettling feeling, maybe a little bit.
Every once in a while, I act like I'm drunk and I'll stumble into a corner of a room, and feel around, make sure there's nothing.
It's like I said, pretty quiet evening. At some point, the bartender comes over to you, Vic, and says, "That was pretty good. We haven't had a bard in here in a while."
Well, I haven't been on a stage in a while, so it's kind of nice for me to hear it, know that I still got it. So appreciate the kind words.
If you get some customers in here, you're welcome to the tips.
We're actually we heard that this is a place where people from up top come now and again, or it's a welcome spot for people like us. You get many topsiders down here?
You see him think. He says, "Topsiders, not so much. Sometimes, but it's a pretty rare event. A lot more. We're getting some of the drow from Menza Baranzan. We get some orcs, some dwarves, but and he sort of thinks about it. He's like, I don't remember the last time we had someone who was a topsider.
Yeah. Well,
2 months ago.
Obviously, you got a nice place here, and people come and go. We're actually we're hoping to meet we're hoping to meet some folks here, and maybe I could give you a quick rundown of what they look like, and if you happen to see them in here while we're out, and about, maybe leave a message for them for me. I'll give you some coin for that, of course, but I'll just give them the kind of the rundown of the other half of the crew and who they are and names. And
we definitely don't get Quaggus in here, so that's going to be an easy one to pick out. And he has no problem doing that. Like, leaving messages is quite common here. And he says, if there's anything else I can do for you, let me know. And he does give you a little bit of a word of warning about causing trouble out in the city. He's like, there's nothing I can do if the stone guards get you. So just keep your head down. Seem like nice folks.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, we'll be staying here for a couple nights probably, so I'm going to try to make this home. And I'll head over to kind of Jason to touch base real quick and say,
I figure when you went to the stage to sit, I staked out a table nearby.
So I'll
the bar's too high for me to comfortably sit at it.
I'll come sit by you and let you know that I left that message and just say, what do you think we do tomorrow? We could be waiting here for quite some time. Do we just hang out here, lay low, or?
There's an awfully large part of me that is looking forward to not having to do much of anything for a little while.
Yeah.
How many days do you have left till they're supposed to come?
When you said this would be the night of the 35th day.
We have 5 days before we're meant to meet them.
Well, perhaps we could do a job before then, get some more money.
I do want to see about getting this armor refitted. I want to have a look around. But I'm looking forward to having very little that's pressing. For at least a day.
I'm right there with you. Like to spend some more time with that stage, maybe.
Would your bartender friend happen to know any people that are looking for, a quick job around here?
He seems like he might be kind of connected. Yeah, you might be able to ask him. But yeah, do you think that's a good idea? I mean, we just need to hang out here for a little bit. We got enough coin to cover our expenses, I think.
We don't want to draw too much attention.
Well, the drow. Well, let's see. We defeated the drow not too far away from here, so they probably know where. Huh?
We defeated 2 of the drow.
Yeah, 2 of the drow. So they might not. They probably think we're already here, or on our way. So they probably already know where we're at. I don't know if there's a point to laying low because the drow already know we're. I guarantee the drow probably know we're here, just because we've been heading in this direction the whole time, and if they've been following us.
Zom, have you? Obviously, I'm having a hard time right now because player knows your background, but have you talked much about what your background is? Like what your previous profession was?
A little bit. Jason asked me about why I joined, or why. Yeah, basically asked me a little bit about my story and like why I joined the Beta Knights, and I was just saying basically because I hate everything to do with the Paylor and their happiness. So I was like, screw that.
But you didn't talk to me about being a slaver at any point.
That was right. Okay. I wanted to make sure because I was going to ask a question, but then I realized I probably don't. My character doesn't know that.
I didn't share that part.
Just
because I wanted to be sensitive to everybody's experience right now.
I don't I don't remember. Did you have connections to the Zentarum or no?
No, I don't think I had any connections.
Okay.
I was a slaver for the Drow, but apparently got betrayed by the Drow while trying to sell them slaves.
Okay.
The only affiliation I would have is with my church, Church of Bane. So other than that, I don't have any other affiliations. Maybe some connections with the God, I can't remember their names. That Brotherhood in Baldur's Gate. I forgot what they're called.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I like this lay low idea. You know, Zom, if you want to do some jobs, I don't know. I guess
I would
say be
only do a
careful.
job. I would only do a job if we were all doing it together. I would rather not go alone, seeing that the Drow are on our trail. And I mean, I'm a tough guy, but me versus, multiple people isn't that good.
I think that's wise. I think it would be wise for none of us to venture outside of the inn alone.
Agreed.
Okay. So, can we conclude the night?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So, guys, I'll take a long rest. The next morning dawns, and I need you guys to do some stuff for me. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving.
For what reason?
Because you are coughing pretty bad.
Is our face wrap giving us any kind of bonus to that?
It is not a lot, but it is giving you. It's lowering the DC.
Okay.
Nice. Let me see. Where the heck is my Constitution? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
What did I get? Oh, Jesus.
And I'm missing. Oh no, you're up there. Sorry. Okay.
Do you have a bonus? No, that would be figured in, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why some people have 2 numbers and I only have 1.
Because we have it set to roll twice.
Which you should do, just in general. But
You have 2 numbers, Drazzle. You just rolled the same thing twice.
So Drazzle, the next morning you wake up and you have a pretty bad cough. Worse than you thought. You're not used to this. You're normally out in nature where it's quite fresh, and this is probably one of the more unnatural places you've been. You are going to have a couple problems. First and foremost, as soon as I find this, you have 1 level of exhaustion.
Nice.
You also are going to have trouble taking the dash action. And hold on. I'll give it to you. One second. You spell Gracklstugh. Oh, really? How do you spell Gracklstugh? Sorry.
I'd have to look in your notes to find it.
I have no. It has a dash.
You did put it in your DM notes, so it's there somewhere.
So not just describe it. Okay. Hold on. It's not chapter 2. We're in chapter 4.
Hopefully we don't find running to be a necessary outlook.
All right. So there's a couple of why. I'm really annoyed by this. That this is a handout. Okay. I'll make a handout for next time. But for now, there's a couple things. You have 1 level of exhaustion, which you can put on your sheet on Beyond. if you want to dash, you have to take a Constitution check. If it fails, the action can't be attempted. If you try to cast a spell with a verbal component, you must also succeed on a Constitution check.
Oh no.
Or be unable to complete the spell, causing the spell to fail. No effect. So,
But it spends the spell slot, correct?
yes.
I have to
Just,
make a constitution check before I do that, or the spell doesn't work.
Yeah, you tell me you intend to cast the spell. We make a Constitution check. If you fail, if you fail, the spell slot is lost.
And how do I get rid of this condition?
That's a great question. You don't know. And the DC for those are 1 plus or 10 plus your exhaustion level. Just so you know, when I say comes, I'll make a handout for this.
Okay. Oh, good thing you're not our full-time cast. Oh wait.
Getting out all my spells are verbal. Oh wait.
If someone the next morning wants to make a medicine check, you certainly can.
Feeling the effect of it, I would like to get a pot of clean water from the kitchen and clean my face mask.
Okay.
I can do that too. I've been learning some magic. I can clean these cloths.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. No problem. Oh, and also everyone, this is my new pet. This is Chip. Parakeet.
Wow.
I like it a lot better than the spider.
The colors are amazing. And I don't think it was until this very moment that I realized how devoid of color everything down here is.
I was thinking the same thing. It's been a while since I've seen something this green.
Where did you even get this?
From the spell book.
You have a spell book?
Why yes. Where else does one learn spells?
From God.
From
mind
God.
power.
Yeah, I agree.
But for those of us less devout.
Blasphemy, and I attack you.
Some of us don't learn them at all.
I'm fairly certain Vic does not receive his spells from a god.
I don't think Vic have spell. That's why family abandoned it.
I got spells. You should have been down there last night. They were loving it. I was singing
Vic is
this
his
song.
own god.
Yes.
Quite.
Sorry, there's some more checks I need to. So I would like one of you. You guys can rotate the responsibility, whatever you like. One of you to roll a d20 for me.
I'll do it this time. Sure.
I don't want to be responsible.
11. What does 11 get us?
Thank you. Gives you a 11. Okay, and yeah. So the day starts really quite uneventful. It was an excellent night's sleep for all of you. You all sort of conked out. It's the first night you've not, like, as you were getting to bed, you had that like weird reflex or feeling you have when you get off a boat that you've been on for a long time, and as you're laying in the bed, you feel like you're swaying back and forth in the water, and eventually you all fall asleep, and it's only really the sound of the phlegm coming out of Drazzle's throat that sort of eventually wakes the group of you up. Is there anything? Yeah. What are you guys going to do? You go out there. Some gruel made out of some like mushroom. It's basically like mushroom oatmeal being served, but it's warm, which is a little bit better than what you were eating before.
Right. I'll take a couple of chunks of that, I guess.
Yep, happy.
It's filling. Like it's spiced a little bit. Like this is a city, so they have like access to things like spices and salt.
Oh, nice.
So you guys didn't necessarily have.
Get the equivalent of whatever butter is down here, and maybe some milk if there's any.
Not milk.
Oh, okay.
There is some sort of creamy thing that you suspect is just mushrooms.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like mix it in together. If there's any like things sweet, like sugar or honey.
Yeah, you there's probably some non-mushroom sweetener.
Yeah, I'll add that to my bowl of mushroom oatmeal, and I'll just eat that for the morning breakfast.
Mushroom milk.
It's like almond milk, but mushroom.
So one thing that all this talk of mushrooms. One thing I would like to maybe accomplish today is we did get some information that Stool's like home is like kind of close by. So maybe we want to do some like digging into that if possible, to maybe identify like how far away. Would it be a thing that we'd be able to do in the interim, before those kinds of things?
So I'm going to move you back to, I'm going to move you, let's go. Okay. I'm going to move you to a blank page to draw you like a rough map of what you know and what. Okay. So we'll start with the Dark Lake. Right? That's here. You guys, this was Slobodo. This X.
Slobodo.
You now are down here. That's Gracklstugh here, and let me give you a little bit better.
And how many days did it take us to travel that far?
I think it was 18.
Okay. Gives me a frame of reference for how big the lake is.
Yep. So, okay. And then where you guys came from originally was somewhere down here. Down there. So you guys, they took the more direct route, and you guys did this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Across the. All right. Now find X. So then you.
I see 3 of them. Done. Nailed it.
Which you guys learned, and I'm pretty sure I worded it this way, but correct me if I'm wrong. You learned that Blingden Stone, which is up here, Blingden Stone, that somewhere along this path that you would take was where Stool lived.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe I phrased it that it was nearby the major path that you would take from Gracklstugh to Blingden.
Okay.
Right.
That's what you know before you've asked anything today. So, and I didn't draw your map at that time, but.
And we heard a name for it.
Neverlit Grove is that. I probably gave you the name.
I think so, yeah.
And I think Stool would have given that too. And Basidia is, he said, the Hierophant there. He did give you the name of the Hierophant. Okay, so you are going to ask questions about the Neverlit Grove. Here, I'll put this also on the map.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe the way I would go about that would be if I was like kind of wandering through maybe some of the bazaar, maybe if there's someone that's like selling mushrooms or kind of food market, maybe I'd ask some questions in that kind of area.
Okay.
I'd also like to find a leather worker to get this armor fitted.
Okay. Oh, we have we're going to look for information about Neverlit Grove, Leatherworker. What else while you're out? Drazzle.
Dolphix, are there
What's going on?
other things that you need?
Well, I would like some heavier duty armor, some studded leather armor as well. I don't know if it's possible that we could fashion any additional protection from your leftovers. Or...
Certainly, there's going to be enough material removed. This suit is large enough for one of the big folk. Perhaps we can get 2 suits out of it.
Excellent. And if you would not mind, I would.
Let's give it a try.
Accompanying you.
Okay. So, studded leather. Zaum, anything particular that you're looking for?
Do we need a map, by the way, guys? Do you think we would benefit from like a map, like of outside of this place, if there's any?
Yes, if we can find someone who has a map. I'd been so reliant on people knowing where they were going, I hadn't thought of it.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and look for something like that.
Okay. Drazzle, are you there?
I'm mostly stumbling around because of my exhaustion. I think it's due to the fact that I don't have enough sunlight, and I'm looking for some sort of metal worker who can provide me a polished, folding metal sheet that I can use for canning purposes, reflecting this.
So you just want the equivalent of a mirror.
Yeah.
All right. Is anyone going to inspect Drazzle for his Greco one? Is any of you trained in medicine?
I'm not trained, but I have some natural ability. I have treated some injuries before.
Yeah, feel free to make a quick check on Drazzle. Drazzle, are you trained in medicine?
I don't think that I have medicine. Oh, I do actually. Surprisingly.
You can inspect yourself if you want.
Oh, genius.
All right. Drazzle, this is some sort of standard disease. So anything that cures disease would cure this. And it would eliminate it completely. And in case you are not aware, oops, what am I doing? Sorry. While I have it on the screen, Dolphix will use the Raven statistic because I think it fits quite well.
Sounds good.
Particularly with the mimicry. And then Drazzle, you know that lesser restoration, which you have access to, cures disease. Okay. Anything else that you guys want to accomplish before I throw some stuff out? So when you leave the shop, this is generally Eldeth offers to stay with Stool. Stool definitely sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
So she offers to stay with Stool.
Did Sarah ever come back?
He did. It was probably after you guys all went to bed, or sort of near the point the last of you were going to bed. It was pretty late. He was out for a good hour or two. And then, yeah. Sarah basically makes it known that he's going to wander around and do his own thing. And the rest of you head out as a group. The hustle and bustle of, like, you can, as you there was a little bit of a relief being underground in terms of the heat in the city. But the minute you pop your head out into the bazaar, you feel the air from the forges sort of slowly roll over, and there's this light breeze. I'd say the Dark Lake is sort of perpetually cold or colder, and so then you have the heat of the forges sort of pushing air out across the Dark Lake, and so you can feel that breeze. So I need the group of you, if you could roll that D100 again.
All right, who wants to do it this time?
This is for all of you, each of you.
Oh, for all of us. Oh, okay. Oh, D100.
Yeah, this is the D100.
I got
20.
a 1.
Oh,
That could only be good, right?
Yeah, right.
Only goodness.
That's where they put the really good one.
Yeah.
That's so okay. So we'll go in order, unless there's a specific order you guys want to.
Nah.
Okay. So we'll I'll start with the let me start with the leather worker. So you find someone who can do the work for you. All in all, it is going to take let's look real quick, to refit your studded leather and to use whatever's remaining to fashion another set of studded leather. I'm going to say is going to be 30 gold total.
Okay. Is there any objection to just taking that out of what's left from selling the gemstones?
No.
Cover that then.
And the shopkeep is like, I'll have it for you tomorrow.
Excellent.
All right. So 2 studded leathers on day 37. Okay, so that one was pretty easy. Never Lit Grove. Where specific? Do you have an idea where you'd like to start asking about that? You said people selling mushrooms.
Yeah, like food market. So probably starting with that, if that doesn't bear any fruit, so to speak. I just feel like a lot of these foods are probably scavenged from Underdark tunnels, so I kind of want to start there because they seem like they might be the most in the know.
Okay. Make me a quick investigation check as you're looking around. So you ask around as best you can, and it's sort of, people are very brusque with you, not because they're annoyed with you. Like, they're there to sell things; they're not there to give information, right? And that's why they're brusque with you. You ask around, and you definitely hear of that there is throwing out Neverlit Grove, which is not a common term, and people don't really. I mean, it's more a descriptor, and there could be lots of Neverlit Groves. But when you hear about, mention Basidia's name specifically, people are aware of Basidia. 1 or 2 of the shopkeepers, and that the best you understand is confirming that it's near Blingden Stone, like it's on that route to Blingden Stone. And are you, in these conversations, do you reveal why you want to go there, or is this just sort of? Are you very happy?
Probably not, because of at this point I realize that there are people that maybe see stool as a commodity based on our interaction with that with the hag. So I don't think I'd reveal that. But if I'm thinking that people are kind of blowing me off a little bit because of self-interest, I'd be willing to make some kind of a promise of, a little bit of money for the information. If it comes true, maybe sweeten the pot.
All right. So you see this this sort of younger Duragar, who clearly is like he's useless out picking because he's so young. So they put him run the market stall. And he tells you, well, I mean, Basidia, I don't like. If you can find someone who's been there, I don't think me or my family think we haven't really been to like we know Basidia as she explores the halls, looking for I don't know some sort of magic to make her mushrooms talk. But we haven't been to the Grove. We just know she's from there. But if you can find someone who's been there and you get close enough, they can probably find their way back.
Do you know of any? Are there any types in the city that would be likely to have or have reason to have gone up that way or in that direction?
He thinks about it and he says, you know, I don't really. I mean, it's not. It's a bunch of talking mushrooms. Like, what are you gonna do with that? If you had a bunch of talking, I don't know, cows, we might go for that. But there's enough mushrooms around the city. They grow plentiful.
Well, let me ask you this.
I could really go for some cow.
These myconoids, have you ever seen one? Are there any near here?
There's a couple colonies up to the north. They're a little bit out of the way. I've seen like some of their explorers, their scouts. They work with and I keep using the word hierophant, but he uses some like honorific to talk about some sort of leader of them. And I'm just forgetting the word at the moment.
I'll ask him how many days travel away from Gracklstugh would that colony be?
To find one of those groves.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. They're out of the way. If there's enough bad things down here that if one of them got into the groves, they could cause some havoc.
Well, that's
why do you need to get there?
I'm part of a society of scholars where I'm from, and I've just always wanted to meet a myconoid.
Okay. Well, I mean, you travel up that path. I'm not going to promise you're going to find one, but it's not too hard to. You see them quite a bit. Sometimes they just look like mushrooms. Sometimes you have to stand real still and then they move, and that's a myconoid.
Yeah. Well, that's helpful. Maybe I'll travel up that way. Well, thank you for your time.
Anytime. He goes back to dishing out some mushrooms to another customer. Make for the map. Zaum, if you could make me an investigation check.
Investigation, let's go. Again, not so good at investigation, but we'll see. Investigation. 11. Pretty average.
So you find a stall that's selling these pretty it's a bunch of like paintings and different pieces of artwork inked onto Zirkwood, really, really thin Zirkwood panels. And it's actually pretty impressive how they took this mushroom that is a little like wood, but not perfectly, and basically made veneers out of it. And the artwork is is pretty good actually. It's not colorful, but it's the design is solid, and then the craftsmanship is their Duergar, so the craftsmanship is excellent. And as you're sort of looking at through what they have, you do see that some appear to be sort of maps of the Dark Lake region. And the old Duergar, sort of grizzled and hair completely white, looks up at you and is like, "Are you interested in that?"
Yes, I would be interested in some maps of the area.
A specific map you're looking for?
Maybe further out towards what's that town we're supposed to be going towards?
Lincolnstone?
Lincolnstone. Maybe some maps in between here and Lincolnstone, or at least the surrounding area, as far out as we can get in that direction.
Huh. I mean, it's not a very good map. Most of the trackers here, they just know it from experience. He's like, and he sort of thumbs through. He opens a drawer. He's thumbing through these little veneers. And he says, "I can give you this one maybe for 15 gold." And you see, it is detailed, but it's not great. Like, it would not do you. It would give you general ideas of where to go, but it would not give you. It's not like a topographic map by any means. The Underdark is a little too complex for that sort of detail on a map.
Jasa, Vic, guys, would this map do? And I kind of show them.
It gives us more information than we had to start with, which is just where things are in relation to one another. I think it's worth it.
15 gold.
Yep, 15 gold.
I think it would be worth that.
I'm telling you, I don't have.
No,
I don't think our journey ends here. I think we're going to be back out there one way or another. Whether it's, I've been asking around about Neverlit Grove. We got to get Stool back. I'd be willing to throw in for that map. It's valuable.
We have enough in just the money left over from the gemstones that we haven't split up. I think this benefits all of us. Let's pay for it.
All right. We'll take that. We'll take the map, sir.
As he is sort of getting it out, and he's showing you it's actually the veneer actually you now see can actually be folded, and he's showing you sort of how it collapses.
We'll never be able to fold it back up the same way again.
So as all of this is going on, you look sort of the stalls in front of you, and you look on the other side of the stall, and you see it's like the strangest figure you have seen. While in your short time here, you have seen some Darrow, although they're few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't have stalls. You see a lot of the Duergar sort of shooing them away from the stalls, and they're not welcome in any way in this general area, but you have some. But this one is very strange. He is dressed in rags, similar to the others, but the rags have been cut into an imitation of a fancy jacket. And then the other thing, he has this wide-brimmed hat. And at first, you're having a lot of trouble figuring out, but it looks like there are like two floppy arms coming off the top of the hat. And you're at a distance. You can't really tell what they are, but they look like they're flesh of some kind. And he's like, people are shooing him away. And so he's sort of darting in, sort of moving at a very quick pace, moving in and out of stalls, muttering to himself. And you see he's carrying a large satchel. Seems to be full of something. And the merchants just want nothing to do with him. But he's sort of moving in and out, and eventually he sort of disappears into the crowd. He didn't come anywhere near you, as far as you know.
That's
Like,
strange. I'll describe it to everyone.
You can definitely point it out as it's happening. Point to
Yeah.
It's easy.
Oh. Well, that's weird.
It's just it's a strange, like most of the Darrow you have seen are just squalor, right? Like they're not. It's hard to tell them apart, like because they're just dirty and miserable and nothing else. This one doesn't. So I think where we'll leave it. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Drazzle. Drazzle, your eye is immediately attracted to what appears to be a stall only of shiny objects. So there is a shiny object of every size, and even the and it's weird because shiny, like it's all like matted dark iron, and so this really stands out. To have a shop that is sort of bright reflection rather than dark reflection. And there's a young Daragar there behind the counter, and she's like, "How may I help you?"
I'm looking for metal, high polish, reflect light.
All of our objects reflect light, and she does a little like.
I want something to fill my hands when I do this. With the light up here, it comes back.
Do you want the light to be stronger, or go out into a wider area?
I think stronger.
So she
Or like sun.
she pulls off a concave mirror from the wall, and it's maybe I don't know, it's I don't know, not that size, melon size, and she says this will take light and reflect it into a single beam, and it's not as bright as a maybe a mirror you see on the surface. It's more like and I think like the silver based mirrors, so it has a little bit like it darkens the light a little bit, but it still does not only reflect light, it actually focuses it into a beam a little bit, so you could be the scourge of anthills all around.
What cost this?
She says that one will be 10 gold.
No, 10 gold too much.
Okay. She takes it out of your hands and she hangs it back up on the shelf.
I just turn and walk away, dragging my tail.
Okay. Okay. So as you guys are regrouping, then where we'll leave it tonight is it won't actually end with me. Where we'll leave it tonight is as you're walking through the crowd, after Drazzle has sort of tried to get a mirror and decided against it. Zelm, across the market, you see two individuals who you know, and I'd love you to describe them. They are not the people who you believe who betrayed you, but they are associates of that person. So if you could describe just generally who they are for us.
Okay, let's go. Let's see, what can I come up with? We'll do one greasy looking pale fellow, black hair, slicked back, of course. Probably about 5'8" 6, very skinny, wearing kind of uh, black, not robes perhaps, but kind of like a long, kind of flowy type thing. Green eyes, human in himself, and the second associate is a kind of a much bigger bodyguard looking type fella, half orc by the looks of it, tan skin, red hair, and definitely kind of buff, shirtless, but with like tan pants and a belt, carrying a great axe.
Right. Do you know their names, or are you not aware of their names?
Ooh, names. I would have to get back to you on your name. We'll go for the greasy hair fella, definitely Silas, and for the big one, we'll say broke or Brock.
Wow. All right. So they catch your eye. You are probably seconds away from you catching their eye. Is there something you would like to do?
As I'm looking towards them, I'm like, you, and I guess we'll end there.
Okay.
Or,
so you shout out at them, basically?
Yes.
Okay. So the rest of you all see this. As Zaum seems to react very strongly to someone on the other end of the market, and we will pick up there next time.
Heads are not down.
So
Exciting.
over the week, feel free if there's little things that you don't want to role play that you want to buy from the player's handbook. Just player's handbook is totally fine. If you want to buy healing potions or whatever, like just let's. If you want to have an interaction, we can save that for the next game. But we will get back and we'll see.
Geez. It's already 10. I didn't even notice. Yeah. I was very absorbed.
We're 20 sides to every story. Please join our Discord and follow the channel so you know what we're up to and when we're going live. If you are interested in jumping in on games with us, we have our community campaign game pretty much every week. It's usually Friday nights. And you can get a seat for those by joining our Patreon or sometimes even being a Twitch subscriber. I want to thank you guys for watching tonight. We appreciate it. I'm happy that they're in a city and we can pick up a lot of little plot points really quick, and they can follow those, and we can try to reconnect them with the other half of their group. So until next week, we'll be back next week. Tomorrow night we have community campaign game. Saturday morning, I'll be back running our Oracle of War Eberron campaign, and Saturday evening we have Kingmaker. So join us for any of that, and we look forward to seeing you again, and thanks for joining us.